So, these are all the images. So you know where I was coming from. All the images. All the images of a country. Let me see if I can get a better light. So I eventually reached, folks, and in Takoma Park, it's typically apartments, closely knit apartments on 4 or 6-story buildings, and it's a mixture of African and Caribbean and Central American culture and Caucasian, and the smell of the hallways and the corridors of the apartment. You could smell the African section, you could smell the Jamaican section, and you can smell the Caucasian section with the bacon and the fish and the stewed rice and the stewed meat and all that, and all the aroma wrapped in one in the hallway, and you could, but still yet you could decipher that that's not Jamaican, that's not American, but all good to a certain extent. But when they clash, your nostril or your sense of smell is fighting to understand what is this volcanic food eruption going on in your mind. And I entered the door and I came into the apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and I settled down. And my mother and I, we start to, and I took out my suitcase, and I must have brought some breadfruit, some bush tea, dried bush tea and chocolate and all the little things. I don't remember what I brought, but I know I brought them. Gave them to my mother. And we settled down, had something to eat, and we start to work the phone. Stationary phone, personal phone or iPhone or whatever it is, cellular phone did not exist those days, folks. You had to go to the phone with a circular dial. Let me go show you one. Show you one of those phones. Here we go. You dial. You take up the dial. 3 0 1 4 4 5 2 6 7 9. You say hello. Hello. In the background. Hello, can I help you? You says this is Doyle. This is Shippy the Explorer, and we're trying to figure out if you have opening at your restaurant. Yes, we have applications. You can come up and get one, and fill it out, and let's see from there. Okay, we'll be up. I'll be up soon. Bye. Talk to you. And you click down and you hear click, click, in the old days. And that was what you had. Yes, folks. Let's put this letter out. privileged society, the mailman comes right to the door. There he goes. Yes, so that's how we applied. And that was a mean, low job. Well, it was a job, but service job. And that I applied to, it was Gino's food store. Gino's and another one started out together, but then they broke apart. But Gino's was still going on. Came up to Gino's at Four Corners, and we got the application form, and I applied, and the only thing that they were able to give me was job that runs from 3 o'clock in the evening shift, run from 3 to 2 in the morning. And the guy says, your starting salary is $1.10 an hour. And I repeat, $1.10 an hour. Here I am, 1979, and I'm immigrating to America. Came, did not see no welcome sign. I saw the guns. I'm coming as a teacher. I'm a high school teacher, not even an elementary teacher, but teacher is teacher in Jamaica. Teaching architectural drawing and construction management or building in Jamaica. And I come to America, and my first job is to cook and clean the floors in Gino's kitchen restaurant for $1.10 an hour. I took it, and by the end of the week, my first paycheck was $25 after they take tax. Coming to America, folks. Now, I'm going to divert from a little bit here because I'm pissed. Because one of the things you have to look for in America, you have to have people who advocate for you. Even when you come legally, they have to tell you what is what. Because I took that job and nobody told me, you know what I discovered? That was 1979 and 2008 or 10, I discovered that 1979, the minimum wage in America was $2.20. And I said, oh my gosh, minimum wage is what you get irregardless of where you are. And that manager at Gino's cut my minimum wage in two and gave me half. I was supposed to be getting $2.20, and he gave me $1.10. Coming to America, folks, that's the first lesson that I learned. That was too late. Years too late. Because the lesson is that if you don't have the knowledge of what to look out for, you are being robbed left and right and being discriminated and put down left and right in this country. So those are the things you have to climb out of. But I'm coming from the place called the Rock, which is Jamaica. I came from the Rock, and the Rock taught me that even at $1.10 an hour, I took my first paycheck and I took the bus, ride-on bus to Tacoma, to Langley Park, and I went into the Safeway, and I bought my cheese and my milk and my sweets and my bread, and I came home. And I must have spent maybe $2 or $3, and I came home with a bag of food, and was happy with my $1.10 an hour. But at $1.10, I made the best of it. A couple of days after this is well, I misinformed it to a certain extent, because when I came first, I left. Couldn't take the cold, well, I went back home. And then when I came back the second time, that's when I got the job. But my first time through was really seeing the guns. But my job was when I came back after 6 months to the country to settle down. And a few days after, it started to get cold, and my mother took me up to the top of Lee Avenue to a thrift store, and I bought my first jacket, second-hand jacket, for maybe $2. And I wore that jacket with pride. I was happy, proud to be a little warmer. And it wasn't a full winter jacket. It was somewhat of a spring or fall jacket, but it kept me warmer. But I love that jacket because when I put it on, I look like Columbo, the detective on TV. And I walk around and I worked and I did my stuff in my Columbo jacket. But back to the $1.10. In a few weeks, I said to my supervisor, can you shift me to, a friend of mine had told me about construction. He said, yeah, construction, you can make more money. And I asked my supervisor, shift me to another shift in the restaurant so that I can, well, I didn't tell him where I was going. But before we go there, we're going to talk about the experience of being in that restaurant. Gino's, you didn't have a seat for yourself to rest. I stood on my feet and I worked and I mopped and I cleaned the floor. I cooked. And then when it's lunchtime or break time, you were placed out in the middle of the audience and you were given a drink and a sandwich, and you weren't welcome to the dessert. The only seat in that place were the seats for the customers outside, and you couldn't go out there and sit. The only seat inside the back was for the manager. So you had to be on your feet all 8 hours or 9 hours until you get a break. If you're hungry, and I'm going to tell you a joke now. Gino's, you're cooking the chicken, you're frying the chicken, no deep fry. And and when the fried time is over, maybe 15, 20 minutes, I don't remember, and you take those chicken you take out the container with the chicken, and you're shaking, you're draining off that oil, and you de-oil it, you shake it, and ever so often a leg fly out of the container and fly into the corner of the thing. Now, you can't put this back into the container because it's on the floor already. But an immigrant or coming to this country and you're in there working and you're tired, you don't want that chicken to waste. So I dashed after that chicken leg in the corner. I brushed it off and I bent down in the corner like I'm cleaning up, and I hit that hot chicken leg before I came back to the rest of the chicken. And that's how sometimes I get something to eat. And then at night, now, before the close of the thing, we would have these sports team all over Washington, and I know we're gonna, so we said to the boss, should we cook some more chicken because we have a game tonight? Or cook some more giant, we used to call them giant sandwiches. Put some giants together. But we are putting them together knowing that they won't be sold off. So by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when we are finished cleaning up, here we have these bags of chicken and these bags of sandwiches, and we are about to throw them in the trash. But every so often in those days, somebody would come to the door and says, I can take a few of them. And for those who like me, who coming from a country that is not as rich as America, I did not like the waste. So I bagged up some of them. And when my mother picked me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, we have a car filled with chicken, Gino's chicken, and giant sandwiches. We ate and we put the rest in the freezer. And believe me or not, folks, when I left Gina's, a few months after, a few weeks after, a few months after, I had my freezer full with leftover giant chicken, giant sandwiches. So when I moved on to the next job, which was construction then, I had sandwiches to feed on. I could be talking. This, to me, is recollection. So you want to come to America? Yes, it's good. Come on. But the lesson one is make sure you understand the society and you have somebody who advocate for you and instruct you how to get around. Next tape, we'll talk about how did I move on to the next job and how we use transportation. What means of transportation I use to survive in America? So, coming to America, stay tuned for more of my life, the first few weeks or months in America. Talk to you soon. Stay tuned, folks.